Have you ever witnessed a commanding officer completely lose their composure in front of everyone? I saw it happen during my second deployment when Colonel Jake Morrison, the toughest officer I'd ever met, completely fell apart in front of 200 soldiers. Morrison was legendary. 25 years in the army, 3 combat tours, chest full of ribbons. Guy never showed emotion, never raised his voice, just gave orders in this calm, steady tone that made everyone listen. We called him the Iceman behind his back. Nothing rattled him. Not mortar attacks, not equipment failures, not even the time our supply convoy got ambushed. He just handled everything with military precision. This happened at our forward operating base in Iraq, 2008. We'd been taking casualties all month. IED attacks, sniper fire, rocket attacks every few days. Morale was hitting rock bottom. That morning started like any other. Morrison called formation at 0700, briefed us on the day's patrol schedules. Everything normal. Then around 10:30, everything changed. Lieutenant Davis came running into the command tent, completely out of breath. "Sir, we just got word from headquarters. They're cutting our tour extension. Everyone's going home 2 months early." The entire tent erupted. Guys cheering, high-fiving, calling their families. We'd been deployed for 14 months instead of the planned 12. The news felt like winning the lottery, but Morrison's face went completely white. He grabbed Davis by the arm. "What do you mean cutting the extension? Where's the official order?" Davis handed him the paperwork. Morrison read it twice, his hands starting to shake slightly. Then he picked up his satellite phone and made a call. We could only hear his side of the conversation, but his voice kept getting louder. "Yes, sir, I understand the budget constraints, but sir, we're in the middle of 3 active operations. Sir, with all due respect, this makes no tactical sense." He was arguing with someone way above his pay grade. A general, maybe higher. His face kept getting redder. The calm voice was gone, replaced by something desperate. Finally, he slammed the phone down. The tent went dead silent. 200 soldiers staring at their commanding officer who looked like he was about to explode. That's when he completely lost it. Started pacing back and forth, talking to himself. 14 months. 14 goddamn months we've been here. Lost 6 good soldiers. 6 families destroyed. His voice cracked on that last word. Then he picked up a folding chair and threw it across the tent. It crashed into a stack of supply boxes with this awful metallic clang. "You want to know why we're going home early? Budget cuts. They spent $1 billion getting us here, but they can't afford to finish the mission properly." He was shouting now, completely unhinged, tears streaming down his face. My best friend Mike looked at me with pure shock. We'd never seen an officer cry, let alone our colonel. Morrison kept going. 3 operations left unfinished. Intel we spent months gathering, wasted. Local contacts who trusted us, abandoned. All because some pencil pusher in Washington needs to save money for the election year. The breakdown lasted maybe 2 minutes, but it felt like an hour. This decorated war hero falling apart in front of his entire command. Finally, he seemed to realize what was happening. He wiped his face, stood up straight, tried to regain his composure, but the damage was done. Everyone had seen their invincible leader crack under pressure. "Dismissed," he said quietly. "Pack your gear. We leave in 72 hours. As we filed out, nobody talked. What do you say after witnessing something like that? Your commanding officer having a complete mental breakdown changes everything. But here's the thing nobody expected. Morrison's meltdown actually brought us together. Seeing him break down made us realize how much pressure he'd been carrying for all of us. 3 days later, as we boarded the transport plane, Morrison pulled me aside. "Sergeant, what happened in that tent stays in that tent, understood?" "Yes, sir. But for what it's worth, sir, knowing you cared that much about finishing the job right, that meant everything to us." He nodded once, then walked toward the plane. Never mentioned it again during the flight home. Morrison retired 6 months after we got back. Heard he became a high school principal somewhere in Colorado, probably still carrying the weight of those unfinished operations. Last year, I got a wedding invitation in the mail. No return address, just my name and the date. Inside was a photo from our deployment, Morrison addressing the troops the day before that breakdown. On the back, someone had written, "The best leaders feel everything. They just hide it better."